You know what I mean? Fuck that. Yeah.
So this guy right here, and if you're listening on the podcast, his name is Paul McCaffrey,
Hey,
a.k.a.
now.
Paulie Mac.
Hey, now.
I'll never forget the moment, Paulie, when you taught me that song, I already forgot who the artist is. It was like late 80s.
I got you covered. That was 1991, and the band was a short-lived band called EMF.
Yes.
EMF. Yeah, and they had that song, Yo, Unbelievable.
Oh, and I never knew they cut that out from, I think, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
That's
Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
The young people have no clue what we're talking about, but that's comedy brilliance right there. Anyways.
Yeah, no, they sampled.
Paulie Mac.
They sampled Dice. Yeah.
I actually liked watching this Warriors team tonight. They lost. It was expected, but I think there was grit there. There was fight there. We saw Quentin Pose playing meaningful minutes. For the second game in a row, GUI Santos stepped up. Paulie Mac and I are breaking that down. It's a Friday night extravaganza. Come join the party. This is the Golden Days.
They always find something to nitpick, and that's because there's expectations for us to win. It was a pretty crazy night.
Let's go. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Come on and break me off. 'Cause I get what I want and I like what I see.
Oh, you know what that's part of the open means? It means we're almost there, man! Friday night, baby. Always a good thing. Always. Welcome to the Golden Days. I am one of your two hosts for the evening, Cyrus Saatsaz. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild. I'm over on Twitter at Surf Journalist. More importantly, though, my guest for the evening, Paul McCaffrey. His show is up and running. Paulie Mac's Particles. You can follow him on most, if not all, social media platforms at Paulie's Pod.
Yeah.
Are you doing Blue Sky, by the way, or are you going that deep?
Dude, I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on everything now. It's crazy, insane. Like, I was Mr. Never Ever social media. Now, like, I'm on everything that exists.
You're everywhere.
No, but, Cyrus, I kind of learned that from you and Larry Krueger and Damon Bruce, like the importance of, in this new landscape that we're part of on YouTube, and we all have internet shows now, that you really have to put yourself out there, or else no one will really know you're broadcasting. So you got to get the message out there however you can. And that's kind of what I'm doing now, man. I'm getting the message out there. I've done 3 shows this week. It's called Paulie Mac's Particles. Check it out on YouTube. We'll be back on Monday. And, dude, what a weekend of like playoff football games. It's football mania this weekend.
It is. Dude. And I do love the fact that with the end, I know we'll talk Warriors obviously in a second here, but I love the fact that the NFL playoffs, like, they're extending until there's a Monday game. Yeah. Sign me up. Like, I'm all in. This should be an awesome weekend. Paulie, I'm one of those individuals. I'm going to open a window for a brief moment into my personal life here.
Yeah.
Just to reveal how awesome this weekend is. Like, for most of my life, I've been the type of guy who, if I'm single, like, I'm just immediately on the hunt for a relationship, for a partner, right? Like, that was an insecurity of mine for a lot of years, a blatant weakness of mine, and I think a lot of people can relate. I'm at a point in life, I don't know if it's maturity, I don't know if it's just, who knows what it is. I'm happy, man. I'm enjoying bachelorhood for the first time in my life, and that includes a weekend like this. Sign me up.
No, you know what? You're tapping into something pretty profound right now, because there is a lot of joy in kind of having your own place, having your own space. You want to listen to Tom Petty at 2 a.m, you go ahead and throw on Tom Petty. It's like, and there's nobody telling you, no, you can't do that. Turn the light out. You woke me up. No, dude, I feel you, dude. There's a lot of joy in roaming around your house and being the only guy around. So, yeah, good for you, dude. And you're right. It's set up beautifully this weekend for football starting tomorrow. And we'll go right. And by the way, they moved that Rams game to Glendale, Arizona because of the fires.
Right.
Yeah. So my heart goes out. And Cyrus, I know you have a lot of ties. You used to live down there in Pismo. So just thoughts, prayers, and I just send you my best energy down to Southern California. It's a hard time down there for everybody.
It is, man. Our mutual friend Sam Batesh, his parents almost lost their house. Yeah, this was a bad one, man. I think this is the worst one that LA has faced in recent years. Pismo's a little bit north, but I did live in Southern California. I did, and same with you, brother. Let's.
How did Sammy do? Is Sammy Batesh okay?
He's okay. It came close, but dude, I kid you not, man. I was talking to him on the phone today. He told his parents live, I think, in Van Nuys or somewhere around there in the beautiful San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
And sorry, I always like every time the San Fernando Valley is just thought of, I think of Bill Murray in Ghostbusters 2 when he's telling that another Ghostbusters reference. For some reason, we're talking about this again. When he was telling that the spirit, you could retire and you could vacation and settle down in the beautiful San Fernando Valley. And the way Bill Murray delivers it is incredible. But no, he told me his parents witnessed an individual walking the streets down there with a flamethrower.
See, I mean, I don't know.
And that was it. And that was it. And they panicked, and they were like, "What the fuck?" Like they call the cops. They don't know what happened.
I would too. Yeah,
just some rando walking around with a flamethrower, like from Grand.
I'm looking to live a flamethrower-free existence if I could. I'd rather not be. But by the way, shout out to Leo DiCaprio at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He takes out the flamethrower and he starts torching all the Manson kids. So great flamethrower moments in California history. You got to include that one. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, our thoughts are definitely with everyone there. Steve Kerr, his family home in Pacific Palisades, burned to a crisp. His 90-year-old mother, apparently that was her home, man. It just sucks. I mean, I know there's a lot of weird messaging out there because this was a rather affluent place that burned to the crisp. So the sympathy, I am seeing some negative. Look, even the folks out there who are privileged, man, they're still human beings. No matter how much money or resources you have, to lose your home, that just sucks, man.
It does.
It ain't fun. It ain't fun. So our thoughts are definitely with them, even those who are going to be okay in the grand scheme of things. Even still, it sucks. But the Warriors tonight.
Yeah. No, dude, we got to talk about these guys. We got to talk GUI Santos. We got to talk Quentin.
Yes.
Dude, all these. My God, Pat Spencer got how many minutes did he get tonight? He got 20 minutes tonight. So a lot of new faces on the floor tonight, or newer Golden State Warrior faces. But again, same result. It was a close game. They wind up losing that game. I mean, I know they gave Steph and Draymond, and who else was missing? Wiggins and
Pajemski, Gary Payton II.
Yeah, there was everybody.
Kuminga.
Right. So they put up a nice fight, but I want to start by asking you a question, Cyrus. Here they are now. They're 19-19. They're 9-9 on the road, so they're 500, like literally across the board. My question to you is this the lot of this Warrior season? Like, are they going to exceed this? They started off so hot with that 12-3 record, and everybody got excited, and that includes me. I was excited. I'm like, here it is, dude. We're going to make one more run with Steph. Now they've kind of come back to earth. But my question, is this what we're going to get for the rest of the season, or do you think we'll get a spike or some kind of decline? Like, what's ahead for this team? Because I'm getting frustrated.
Well, I think your question is very representative of Dub Nation as a whole. I mean, the fan base is annoyed. They're frustrated. The fact that we've gone another day without a trade is ridiculous to me. I don't know what the hell this team is waiting for. They got to take action fast. And we're going to get into that in a whole lot more because we got to pause real fast to give some love to our sponsors.
Yeah.
Real fast, by the way, Simon 2 in the chat saying Pat Spencer greater than Brandon Pajemski. We're going to talk about that as well because that same exact thought crossed my mind watching this game tonight, and we're going to get into it real quickly, though. Got to give some love to the folks who are paying our bills, and we've got 2 new sponsors coming on next week, which I'm elated for, folks. This little operation that is built from the ground up is getting there little by little, and thanks largely due to our sponsors. And first up, Vitamin Energy. Paulie, Vitamin Energy, man. It's all about the Red Bull type, perk that you're getting, the 5-hour, except with Vitamin Energy, it's healthy. It actually is good for you. And so when you're putting this stuff in your body, you don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to wonder why I'm crashing and burning a few hours from now. And if you use the code Golden Days spelled like Days Confused, phenomenal movie, you can get a 20% discount at checkout. Again, just go to vitaminenergy.com, use the promo code Golden Days at checkout for a 20% discount on Vitamin Energy. Go to vitaminenergy.com or go to vitaminenergy.com/Golden Days. Today's episode is also brought to you by BetOnline, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting since 2025, or in 2025, I'm sorry. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. And Paulie, like you said, we've got some action this weekend in the NFL. And as much as you may love these games, imagine how much more fun it will be with some money riding on it. It's a whole different level. And for anyone out there, and Paulie, I don't know how you feel about this, but I believe what I'm about to say with conviction. If you're ever interested in being a quote-unquote expert in sports, an analyst, someone who's doing what we're doing right here, just talking about these games that we love, my advice, strongly, if you really want to be an expert on this and you want to sound like you know what the hell you're talking about, put some money down on these games. The moment you have money riding on sports, the way you're looking at it is a whole new level, and you're paying attention to the minutia.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the
garbage minutes at the end of the game. A lot of times when there's a point spread involved, dude, and the game has already been decided, say it's 30-17, but there's a spread involved. Now it's like, okay, let's try to cover. So sometimes the most gripping minutes can be what would be commonly referred to as garbage minutes. But like Cyrus says, when you got action riding on the game, dude, every play, every snap has significance. Yeah,
absolutely. And BetOnline, the game starts here. Paulie, the chat right now. Look at some of the folks here. Han Solo Dolo saying the season is over. Tasha,
well, that's why I asked.
Yeah, is over, and that's the vibe. Now, look, like you said, man, tonight's game, the Warriors were missing a ton of players. Yep. Draymond's out. Steph is out. Wiggins is out. Pajemski, I mean, I don't know if they missed him that much. Kuminga, sorely missed. Even GP2, I'm sure his defense would have been useful in a night like this. So they're missing a lot of players. And despite that, they were showing fight, man. Like when the Warriors opened up the fourth quarter of this game, they trailed, I believe, by just, 10 or 8?
It was 10,
They trailed at the half by 5, and look, this was a team who were given heavy minutes tonight to players like Lindy Waters III, played 35 minutes. Moses Moody logged 22. I wish we saw more from him. I think that knee issue is really serious. But GUI Santos, look, at the point is, do not judge the Warriors' result of tonight's game in terms of the big picture, man. Like they need to make a trade. But I'm not throwing in the towel, brother. I'm still, that 12-3 start showed enough to me that they have some pieces here to do something special. And I'll say this again, I don't care. The Western Conference to me does not have that clear-cut team, which is going to run away with this thing, man. Like OKC, I know has the best record, but they play small ball. I mean,
that's sometimes
the Warriors.
I would say this about OKC. Like it's a great story. They're playing great basketball. But you know what? I just want to remind people. Go back to what was the Warrior first title year? 14-15, right? 2014.
Correct.
Okay. I don't know if you remember this, Cyrus, but that season when the Warriors really started to elevate and come into the upper echelon of the NBA, when we got to the All-Star break in the 2014-2015 season, the number one seed in the Eastern Conference was the Atlanta Hawks. And the Atlanta Hawks had this amazing first half, and everybody was like, wow, the Hawks, where'd they come from? They came out of nowhere. And then guess what? In the second half, they fell off the table. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen with OKC, but I'm saying that it's a little too early in the season for me to get wound up and to kind of anoint OKC as like the cream of the crop in the Western Conference. I want to see this season play out before I'm ready to kind of give them any kind of crown as being the elite of the Western Conference. But your point is a good one, man. There is no clear-cut team that's like, we got to take these guys down. And I include OKC with respect, but I include OKC in that category.
Absolutely. And look, you look at the Western Conference, man. OKC, a team the Warriors already beat. They almost beat them a second time without Stephen Curry. That was when the young players were playing, and they only lost that game by 4 at the very end. The Houston Rockets currently are the second seed in the West. The Warriors have proven they could beat them. They should have beaten them that last time. That was embarrassing. The Memphis Grizzlies, the Warriors just beat them the other day. The Memphis Grizzlies are third in the West. Teams like Denver, like the Lakers, those teams still concern me. And that's where, regardless of what our opinions are about the Warriors and where we think they can go, I'm of the utmost belief that the Warriors need to make a trade because they're not in a place where they can keep up with these bigger teams, right?
I agree.
Good.
No, and one of the things that Creative Tony brought to the show we're doing.
Is that what he's going by now? It's not Cue Ball. We're going with Creative Tony.
Yeah, I go Creative Tony because that's been his handle for a few years now.
I like it.
Yeah. But he was saying, like, would I be interested in a package trade where you're taking a lot of Warriors, guys like Wiggins? I think he had Buddy Hield in this scenario. Either Moses Moody or Pajemski. You put a big package together. Would you consider doing that to bring in KD for one more quick run for title glory? Or is that?
Can you repeat the players again? Who are the Warriors dealing for KD.
Well, I mean, this is just a hypothetical scenario, but would you consider dealing Buddy Hield, Wiggins, and Pajemski and or Moses Moody in a package, or maybe even throwing a draft pick or two to get Kevin Durant for like a short-term thing just to make
easily
a run? Yeah.
Here's my problem with that.
That's what I
First,
said.
I like what you said, because there are some people out there who think the Warriors should trade Kuminga for KD. And it's like, get the hell out of here, dude. Like I don't know what you think is going to happen if KD shows up. KD will not be the magic solution to the Warriors' problems. And what I mean by that is, you look at the standings. The Suns right now are 17-19. They would not even make the play-in tournament if the season ended today. So why would any of you think that Kevin Durant, who's the best player on that team, is going to suddenly be the difference maker for the Warriors? With that said, I would love KD coming here, but do not throw away a future asset like Kuminga, who's also playing well now. I mean, he's finally showing when you give him minutes, he's going to deliver. But, dude, if it's Pajemski, Wiggins, Moody, who else? Was that it? Was there anyone else?
Well, he said either, I think you mentioned Pajemski, and he said maybe like Moses Moody, a player like that.
Yeah, that's fine. Sign me up. Sign me up, because Moses Moody is always in Steve Kerr's doghouse. I don't think he's ever going to leave that place permanently.
And what's that about? Like, what's at the root
I don't
of
know.
that? Like,
I don't know. There's just trust issues there, man. There are very severe trust issues. So I'm all in on that trade. Sign me up. That would be awesome. As long as you're not giving up Kuminga for Kevin Durant. Now, Paulie, here's my. Now, I want to follow what you just said with a follow-up question. Sorry to sound redundant there. Bonte Hill was on the program the other night. It was a random occurrence. It was like impromptu.
Bonte's awesome. I'm a Bonte fan, dude. I go way back with Bonte. I'm a fan.
I won't go that far in saying I'm a fan of his, but I respect him. He's doing okay. But with that said, the Bonte came on here, and I feel like Bonte represents like the bulk of the media covering the Warriors. They're company folks. They, whatever Steve Kerr says, like that's objective to them. Even though Kerr's going to say whatever the hell will sound right and make him look good. And Bonte came on this program and said Andrew Wiggins is untouchable. I think that is ridiculous, and there's multiple reports confirming that the Warriors, Mark Spears, just the other day, 3 days ago, said that Andrew Wiggins is one of the players the Warriors don't want to trade. That has Steve Kerr's scent all over it. What is your reaction to that? Because I think it's insane to pretend that Wiggins,
I think that if you are talking about putting a trade together, Wiggins, to me, is a guy that you would really have to seriously consider putting in a package, because he is good enough that he's going to warrant some interest. And he is good enough that people might consider a trade where they normally wouldn't without a guy like Wiggins in the mix. So I know what Wiggins can do. Like, we've seen him. To me, Wiggins was at his very best when the Warriors won their last title. He was aggressive. He was flying to the rim with authority. He was passing. He was crisp. But I think with Wiggins, it's kind of inconsistent. Like, you're not always getting the killer Wiggins that we really need at this point, because Steph needs a complimentary scorer. He really does. And that like, and again, we talk about the title years. There was always somebody he could outlet to, be it whether it was Klay Thompson or Kevin Durant in those years. But he needs somebody else to complement him in terms of scoring the ball. Like, they got to have somebody that can put points on the board on a consistent basis. So I don't consider Wiggins untouchable. I would consider moving Wiggins for the right situation and the right player, especially a guy that can make a difference. Because to me, and again, with respect, because I like Wiggins, but I don't always get what I'm looking for from him. And I think that happens a little bit too often, where he's just kind of has a quiet night, or he's wandering around on the floor and he's not really having an impact on the game. So, no, to me, Cyrus, no, he's not untouchable. But that's me,
Dude, and I'm with you. And if there was consistency there, if Andrew Wiggins on a night by night basis was showing up with that force that people fell in love with, different story. But he's not, man. No. I mean, you look at his game log, for example. Kevin Durant, by the way, just to finish up on that real fast, he turns 37 in September. Think about that when folks out there, because there are some people out there who are like, we got to get Durant. Like, that name has come up in certain circles, and again, I'm not against it, but I am against it if you're talking about trading Kuminga, because to me, you trade Kuminga for Durant, the end of the season could be just the definition of irrelevancy. All the bad stuff going on with the Warriors now, imagine that being something that's permanent, where you don't have something to look forward to, where you don't have youth on your team that at least you can get excited about. Like, that's what you're giving up if you trade Kuminga away. And Kevin Durant is one injury away from never playing again. Like, he turns 37's not young, man. Like,
no.
So I'm on board with Durant, just not if you're giving up Kuminga. That's too high of an asking price. Wiggins, a whole different story, and his game log again. I gotta like mention this, because when you look at what he's been doing, let's say the last 10 games, we'll highlight that just to paint a picture of why I'm not of the belief that Andrew Wiggins is untouchable. I think if the right opportunity presents itself, you better trade his ass, man. It's ridiculous. So his last 10 games, I'll just read off his point totals to give you an idea.
Go for it.
9, 16, 21's good. He scored 21 against the Lakers in a loss. 5, 7, 11.
That's it right there. Yeah.
And then to start the new year, 15 against the Sixers. Okay, that's good. He had a great game against the Grizzlies, putting up 24 in that win. 18 in the Kings game, and then just not. So he had a little good, decent 3-game stretch there, and then just 9 against the Heat. He's missed 2 games in a row now. Paulie, what are your thoughts on the fact that Andrew Wiggins, who has missed a lot of time over the last few years for personal reasons?
I know.
What are your thoughts about the fact that he's missed 2 games now because of the birth of his second child? And Steve Kerr, after tonight's game, I bring this up partly because Kerr said, and if there's any sound published, I'll play that. But Sam Gordon of the San Francisco Chronicle is tweeting that Steve Kerr is not yet sure if Andrew Wiggins will play Monday against the Toronto Raptors. Gary Payton II could potentially play. But my point is, how much time does this guy need off for the birth of his second child, man? Like,
I have to agree, actually. And again, now keep in mind, I am a parent, so I'm sensitive to I know what it's like when you're in the delivery room and you got a new baby. I've been there twice, so I get it.
I babysat your boys, dude. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, sorry,
I love your kids.
There. I know now.
I love your kids.
Now they're both taller than you are, man.
I know.
But I got to say, like, I'm sensitive to the plight of being a parent and the new parent and the birth of your child. There's nothing more thrilling than that. But this is a highly paid professional athlete, dude. You've already missed how many games? 2 games, right? He's missed 2.
Yeah.
It's time to come home. It is time to go back to work. I'm sorry that you got all off season. You can play with the kid, throw him in the air, get him a jumper, get the right stroller, whatever you want to do. Paint the room blue. I don't care. But now you got to come back to work. Now, I'm a little bit old school that way, Cyrus. I know a lot of people are like, oh, how dare you? He should have a month off if he wants. We didn't even do. When I had my kids, there was no such thing as like a paternity leave. That was a term that didn't even exist. In fact, I was working on 107.7 The Bone, doing classic rock, and at that time, my son was born. I think I missed 1 show, and then I was back to work the next day. And that's how the real world operates. You got a job.
Exactly, man.
You got to go in. So I'm a little bit more old school this way. I would say, Kuminga, you've missed a couple of games. The kid's born. Everybody's healthy and happy. It's time to come back to work because his teammates need him. They need him. So
Agreed.
If he doesn't play on Monday, dude, I would be slightly rankled by that. I would.
Julian Bashir, you're right. I agree wholeheartedly. Julian Bashir in the chat saying Wiggins has a 7-foot wingspan. He's 6'8", although I think he's actually 6'7". It's 1 inch, whatever. 44-inch vertical, yet he can barely get over the rim these days. Something doesn't look right with those stats. He should be dunking like Kuminga. Look, he's not even 30 yet, but he does turn 30 this year. He has 2 years remaining guaranteed after the season. You'd be freeing that contract off your books if you trade him. You could pursue a guy like Miles Turner, who's going to be an unrestricted free agent after the season. Keeping him is absurd. I mean, look, if there's no good deals out there, you're not going to force him out. But all I'm saying is seize those opportunities if they exist. It's insane to just hold on to him. Like he's untouchable. That's ridiculous. There were some players tonight, Paulie, that I thought stuck out to me. GUI Santos for the second game in a row.
Yeah, gee, I'm a GUI Santos fan, dude.
Same.
I'm on board, and I got to be honest. I just like saying GUI. You know what I mean?
Same.
I'm a fan of the name GUI. GUI. Yeah.
GUI for 3.
Totally.
I'm a poet and didn't know it. Sorry.
Oh.
Look, for middle-aged men, Andrew Dice Clay, it's just something about it. I don't know when it is.
You had to be there. Yeah, you had to be there. It was a moment. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
It was, dude. I guess I'm juvenile. I don't care. But GUI Santos, dude, he was the vitamin energy player of the game last night.
Yeah.
The dude delivered, and his numbers tonight. I mean, why not play this kid more? I mean, why have we waited this long to see him play? I prefer his energy to almost anyone else that was at least sitting out tonight. And just to give the numbers for how GUI Santos played. He played 23 minutes, 58 seconds, 4 of 5 from the field, a perfect 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. He was 4 of 6 in last night's game, 11 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, just 1 turnover. Dude, I love it. He was a plus 9 in net rating.
And you left out the 3 steals. He had 3 steals tonight, too. Yeah. So GUI is like, no, he's been a real kind of shot in the arm, a nice spark for this team. And I'm with you, dude. Give me more minutes. Give me more GUI Santos, because right now, that's what they need. They need a spark, especially when Steph isn't in the lineup. And Cyrus, one other thing I've been thinking of with this Golden State Warrior team this year is every time the Warriors have had success in the postseason, they've gone on these great runs, and we've all been so fortunate to watch this team play at that level with some of the greatest players in the history of the game, being Steph and Clay and on, and KD. But every time they've had a successful year and gone on to win a title, like, they've had home court dominance. And I think that's got to be a priority when they start looking at the second half. You guys got to get back to protecting your home court, because I think they give too many games away at home. I really do. Like, I've been watching this all year. There's a lot of tight games that they just let slip away. And these are the kind of games we'll be kind of wringing our hands about at the end of the year. When you're seeing, like, God, how'd they miss the playoffs? Or why are they the lower seed? Why did they have to go on the road? Well, it's because they're not protecting home court. Yep. So that really bothers me, because they were so dominant at home, starting over in Oakland. And then when they came to Chase the first couple of years, I mean, the Warriors had a really good home court advantage. Same thing in 22 when they won their last title. So I think they got to prioritize that too in the second half. Get back to protecting your home court. Come on.
No, you're right. I don't know if this will surprise you or not. The Warriors, again, after this loss tonight to the Indiana Pacers, I don't know if I even read the final score once. They lost this game 108-96. The final. You brought up the home versus road record. The Warriors dropped to 19-19 after tonight's game. They are 10-10 on the season at home, 9-9 on the season on the road. The absolute epitome of mid-average, whatever label you want to put on it. Yeah. That's the Golden State Warriors. And Paulie, you're right, man. Last year was funky. Because I don't know if you remember this or not, but the Warriors last season were just 21-20 at home, 25-16 on the road.
That's right.
Which made no damn sense. No. Now it's just even mediocrity on both sides, whether it's at home or on the road. But GUI Santos, man, this kid is showing up. He's physical. We've talked about him in this program as being someone who's strong, who can play the 4, even though he stands a 6'6", 6'7", depending on what website you're looking at for his height. Another player who stood up tonight, and this individual is our Vitamin Energy player of the game. Paulie's applauding. I absolutely love it. Again, Vitamin Energy. Go to vitaminenergy.com. Use the promo code Golden Days for 20% off. Days spelled like Days Confused. Or go to vitaminenergy.com/Golden Days for that 20% off discount at checkout for an energy boost that's good for you. And our Vitamin Energy player of the game tonight, Pat freaking Spencer.
That's my boy. Yep.
Dude.
That's my boy. Yeah.
Absolutely. 7 of 12 from the field tonight. 1 of 3 from deep. 17 points, which tied for the team lead alongside Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is not getting a Player of the Night award when you're going 3 of 12 from beyond the arc, and that's what the team is relying on you for. So Pat Spencer, who only played 20 minutes, 20 seconds, should have played probably 30 or 35. You are our Vitamin Energy Player of the game. Again, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Did have 3 turnovers, which is unfortunate, but nonetheless, for a player with his experience or lack thereof, it was great to see. And it brings up, Paulie, the next talking point here on the program, which is Brandon Pajemski's been out for a while because of an injury. Supposedly he has like abdominal soreness or some sort of strain that the team is being cautionary with. You look at Pat Spencer, man, and it does make you wonder, does this team need Pajemski? Like, is it necessary to continue holding him at this high regard when Pat Spencer is playing some good ball? What are your thoughts on that, man? Because Pat Spencer's looking good.
I tell you the truth. I'll put it to you like this, honestly, with no disrespect to Pajemski, because I liked him last year. I did. I thought he gave the team a nice spark. coming off the bench. However, this year it's just not there. I mean, his shooting has been atrocious. He sucks up a lot of minutes, and I'll tell you the truth, if you offered me, hey, I'll give you 20 minutes of Pat Spencer tonight or 20 minutes of Pajemski, who are you taking? I'm taking Spencer. I'm sorry. I just think he's a better all-around player. He's got a little bit more. I mean, I like Pajemski's tenacity. I like his but I'm thinking about last year, though, the spark that he used to bring, and it's just not there. Right now, I feel that from Spencer. I just like the way he plays, and I wouldn't mind seeing more. So if you were giving me a choice, one of the two, I would take Spencer. That's just me.
Hey, I'm with you. And look, Pete Gregory in the chat brings up a great point, which is to tell us, do not be prisoners of the moment. The point here is not that, and again, Paulie, I apologize if I'm not speaking on your behalf here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the point here that we're making is Pat Spencer's the next great thing. The point here is maybe he is, who knows? But Brandon Pajemski is not playing well this year. I mean, he's a borderline weight dragging down this team when he's out there, especially when it comes to scoring. He's not putting up points, and they need points. Pat Spencer, at least as of right now, could probably do just as good of a job, if not better, than Pajemski. And the dude's on a two-way contract, man. He gives you freedom. If other teams out there want Pajemski, trade him, dude. It does pain me. Again, the Lowry Markkanen thing this offseason, none of us have the full details of what went down in terms of why that trade did not happen. I've never seen one report that confirms that it was absolutely make or break. Like Brandon Pajemski was the deal breaker for a deal for him. But if it was, Paulie, if the team decided against trading for Lowry Markkanen because Utah wanted Brandon Pajemski and the Warriors said that's our deal breaker, I do think they made a colossal mistake, man. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I mean, I don't think there's any consideration there. I mean, Pajemski is just not a guy. He's just not making a positive difference for this team. And again, it's not a personal thing. I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying, when he's on the floor, he's not giving you production like this team desperately needs. Meanwhile, Pat Spencer can. I mean, he went 7 of 12 tonight shooting from the floor. I'll take that, man. I will take that. And that's far beyond what Pajemski's been able to give this team this year with his minutes. And Pajemski had a lot of games. He gets a lot of minutes, maybe too many. I would be more comfortable with those 20 minutes going to Spencer. Again, but that's me. But I've liked what I've seen from Spencer. Every time he's on the floor, I feel pretty good about his minutes.
And adding to that, I've also liked what I've seen from Brandon Pajemski when he's played appropriately, meaning when he's playing as a backup point guard and his minutes are limited to 15, 20, I don't think he's hurting anything. But he's like a lot of players that play under Steve Kerr, man. He's become a crutch. And I've said this before, Paulie, I don't know if you like the metaphor or not, but I feel like the way to handle Steve Kerr as your head coach is you got to Billy Bean him. You got to trade players that he's too reliant on. And Brandon Pajemski's become the latest one. That's a crutch where Kerr just has to play him. It's kind of crazy, man. I don't
really understand what's behind that, though. I'm not sure why Kerr feels compelled to be so committed to this kid. I'm not at this point at this season. Last year is a little more understandable, but right now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why Steve likes him so much.
Here's the thing. I don't know if you've heard this, Paulie, and I'll repeat it just for we're always getting new people coming on the show, and welcome if you're a brand new audience member. A huge reason why Pajemski's playing is because Stephen Curry, and we broke this story on the show, thanks to our inside sources in Chase Center, that Stephen Curry has told the team himself that his body's breaking down. That he can't handle the same workload that he's been accustomed to in years past. What that means more specifically is he's asked the team to make him a shooting guard offensively for his role. He thinks he's better served playing off the ball and saving his energy, not for handling the ball and facilitating the offense, but for playing off the ball and scoring as a catch and shoot player and so forth. And so what the team is trying to do is reduce the pressure off Steph in terms of ball handling, and that's why Pajemski gets all these minutes. Now, my pushback to that is there are better options than Brandon Pajemski. I also think ball handling is such an overrated skill at the NBA level. I get it in high school, college, and so forth. At the NBA, if you're making, $1 million, $5, $10 million a year, and you can't dribble a ball up the court, you do not belong in the NBA, man. It's the emphasis on that is absurd to me. But does that provide maybe a clearer picture?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, whatever's going to protect and prolong Steph's career, I'm all for it. I mean, and if that means you take the ball out of his hands and let him be a shooting guard, I'm fine with that. I mean,
Same.
I love Steph's handle. He's got a great handle. It's fun to watch.
He
Steph
does,
with the
yeah.
ball. But he's only got so much gas in the tank, and at his age now, you're getting into your late 30s. You got to be honest. Listen, the body does change, and he's taken a lot of abuse off the ball when he's looking to get open, and he's got to take all those laps around, the offensive side of the court. He's getting elbowed. He's getting scratched. I mean, everybody takes a piece of his flesh every night. So whatever can protect and prolong his career, Cyrus, count me in. I'm in.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. And just finish, as we start to wrap it up here, we're going to be short and sweet on this Friday night. Again, Buddy Hield, we mentioned the shooting, not there again.
Not tonight. No.
No. But another player who just is not delivering when it comes to outside shooting has been Dennis Schroder, a player who the team can trade. That's the good news. And that's a new rule where if you trade for a player, whereas before there was like a certain amount of time you had to wait, and pretty much if you made a trade for someone, you were stuck with that dude for the rest of that season. There's a new rule where you can now flip that contract again. And the Warriors, Mark Spears of ESPN reported this the other day, that Dennis Schroder is a contract to look out for in terms of possibly being traded again. He's making $13+ million this season on an expiring deal.
Yeah.
And when you see performances like tonight, man, 12 points, that's okay. But 1 of 6 from deep, that ain't cutting it, dude. Your thoughts?
No, it's not. And I've been kind of frustrated because I've liked Schroder in the past. Like, I've liked his career. I've been watching him a long time. But it's pretty distressing when you see a young player like Jaime Jaquez come in with the Miami Heat the other night and just kind of bully him. Like, he overwhelmed him with physicality. Dude. So that concerns me. It concerns me, and I'm not thrilled. It just might be not. Sometimes you get a good player, but it's not the right fit with whatever system and style. I want to let it play out. I'll take a little because he is a veteran and he deserves room to grow into the system. But I'm not thrilled so far with Schroder. And I want to be thrilled, but I'm not yet. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Well, here we are wrapping it up, Paulie. We're going to, as we do with the show, typically we go through the NBA scoreboard and then call it a night. Okay. Let's see what's going on in the NBA. I like doing this, and I feel like it's become a popular way to wrap up the show because we get to see what's going on in the rest of the association.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We talk about some of the competition out there. So, for example, there was a great game tonight over at Madison Square Garden. Side note, you just were there recently, right, with your son?
Yeah. I went to a game last year. In fact, I saw the Warriors. I saw the Warrior game at MSG last year. What a great building. If you've never been to Madison Square Garden for a Knicks game, even if the Warriors aren't in town, try to get in the building just to pick up that electricity. They call it a temple of basketball. It's a sacred ground. I mean, there's so much great history in there. Michael Jordan loved playing in there. Magic Johnson. I mean, Steph loves lighting up the Garden. Dude, I recommend to all your listeners, get to the Garden if you can in your lifetime. It's like going to Fenway Park. You got to check that box.
It's an old building. It was older and tighter than I anticipated. Like the hallways are when you're going to get a drink or concessions, you don't have a lot of breathing room out there. With all that said, when you're actually sitting in your seat and you're watching the action,
it's awesome. It's awesome.
Dude, it's an experience. I'm with you, man. I recommend it. It's if you're a hooper and you love basketball, it is to a certain extent almost like a religious experience. Anyways, at the Garden tonight, we had a great matchup. The Thunder were in New York taking on the Knicks, and OKC took care of business and then some. 126-101 the final. OKC improves to 31-6. New York drops to 25-14. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 39 points in the win. Karl Anthony Towns 23 points, 10 rebounds in the loss. Paulie, I don't know how closely you're paying attention to the MVP race. I feel like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the favorite. What are your thoughts on that, if any?
I think it's too early. It's too early to start talking MVP. I don't like to do that till the second half because you never know, like with injuries or where any direction a team is going to go. But I definitely have my eye on this game. And I mean, the Thunder went into New York and they put their foot down, man. They beat them by 25 points.
Incredible.
So yeah, and the Knicks, Knicks are having a decent season. They're 25-14. They're a tough team to beat at home. But I mean, these are the kind of games where you have to kind of sit up and take notice of the Thunder. I said, let's wait and let it play out. But it is impressive. It's another impressive win for that team.
Wholeheartedly agree. Another great game tonight. This one I don't know if it's a great game, but a solid matchup involving the Warriors' little brothers in Sacramento.
Yeah.
You like that? I'll take my jabs anytime I can. The Kings beat the Celtics tonight at the Garden, 114-97. Ever since Doug Christie took over, man, that team has taken off. The Kings improved to 19-19. The Celtics in a bit of a struggle right now. They dropped to 27-11. Domantas Sabonis, 23 points. Paulie, 28 rebounds in that game. God damn. Jaylen Brown, 28 points. What are your thoughts on the Kings since Mike Brown got shit-canned bizarrely? What are your thoughts on all that?
Well, first off, I got to say I'm a Mike Brown fan. Like
Same.
I've talked to him many times. He's a great guy. Guy rides a Harley, by the way. He's a cool dude. But no, the King. That's a huge win for He does. He rides a Harley. He's a big.
I didn't know that, man. That's incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he does. He goes on like long road trips in the off season. Like he's a serious biker. Celtics are learning what it's like to try to defend a title. It ain't that easy, Tatum. That's why when Tatum was like, "Oh, we're going to win another one," it's like, dude, why don't you slow your roll up there? It ain't that freaking easy, as they are now finding. I mean, Celtics are having a nice year, but I would not usher them right to the NBA Finals. I mean, and evidence is tonight. Like watching the Kings come in and catch a team off guard and beat them by almost 20 points.
Roberti Ma in the chat.
Yeah.
Roberti Mao, I hope I got that right, is writing, I may be delusional, but I feel like we have a good roster, just the right lineup and guys playing aren't correct. I might be delusional too and agreeing with you. I don't think that 12-3 start was a fluke. I don't, man. There were things there that were damn good. Paulie, and I'll bring this up again because Sophia Jones, who joins this program every Monday, provided some incredible analysis when it came to Buddy Hield and his struggles. What she saw with Buddy in terms of what we started with, where he was playing some lights-out basketball, leading the team in scoring versus what we've seen since, the poor shooting. She is seeing a player who early in the season was making all of his threes and his buckets as a catch-and-shoot scorer. Right. Like the offense was set up where he wasn't trying to make plays himself, and he's doing that a lot now. And she was right. The moment she said that, I started paying attention, and he's dribbling a lot more. He's shooting off the dribble a lot more. I don't like what I'm seeing there, man. Any thoughts there with Buddy?
No, I'm very disappointed. I mean, I've always kind of liked Buddy Hield. I remember watching him in college at Oklahoma, and the kid could really shoot. And
wow.
He's got that in him. Like, he's a great shooter when it's all happening. But no, tonight was really disappointing. What did he go, 3 of 12 from 3? Is that
3
what
of
it was?
12 from 3. Did score 17 points, but 25%.
I'm slightly disappointed. I got to be honest.
I'm absolutely with you. 25% is not going to cut it from deep, especially when you have a 4-year guaranteed deal, getting close to $10 million a season. You're getting paid for the 3-point shooting, and when it's not going in, you're basically stealing money. These are some interesting stats for Buddy Hield. I'm going to share my screen real fast here in regards to Buddy. Hey, Buddy. This season, when Buddy Hield scores 18 or more points, the Warriors are undefeated. 8-0.
Great stat. Yep.
When Buddy Hield scores 17 points or less, they're 10-19. They just lost tonight. When Buddy Hield scores 18 points, Buddy has scored 18 or more points 6 times in the first 7 games of the season. We all remember that. He's only scored 18 or more points twice in the last, what is now 30 games. This might even be 31. I think this is from 2 days ago. And Buddy had 19 the other night. Yeah, this is from 2 days ago, and he has 17 tonight. So that's just the picture of Buddy's impact. When he's hitting the shots, good things are happening. And as V93 in the chat writes, the Buddy Hield cycle is real. All right, let's finish up the scoreboard. I know you got things to do, Paulie. I'm sorry. Real fast. Let's go through the rest of it. Around the association, the Sixers. Philadelphia 76ers losing to the New Orleans Pelicans. This was not a game I'm guessing most people watched. If you're talking about NBA ratings dipping, this is an example of why. New Orleans winning 123-115 to improve to 6-31. Is that right? No. 8-31.
Yeah, but what's the difference? I mean, what's the damn difference at that point? 8 losses, 31 losses, and they roll into Philly and win? What the hell? I mean, goddamn. But that's why I guess you got to watch the games. You never know how they're going to play out. But, I mean, for New Orleans, that's a big night. Now they're going to go out and party in Philly, celebrate that 8th win, you know?
What are your thoughts on Zion, dude? Like, I mean, there's no report saying he's going to come to the Warriors, but he's available. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's funny because Larry Krueger, who I talked to quite a bit, he loves the idea of bringing Zion to Golden State.
Does.
I don't agree. Like, I'm not. Look at the guy's resume. He's never on the floor. He doesn't play enough. Like, I
like it.
Talk about guys missing time. Jesus H. I mean,
yeah, but. The only reason why I side with Larry on this is because Rick Celebrini, the magic that he pulled out of his bag in 2022 with Otto Porter Jr. is something I'll never forget. And it gives me hope almost for anyone else. But I also hear what you're saying, dude. Durability is a massive concern with that guy. He is not on the court that much. A few more games in the association tonight. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Orlando Magic. This was Paolo Banchero's first game back. Dude has missed months. Despite losing, scored 34.7 rebounds, but Giannis Antetokounmpo, who also should be in the MVP discussion for the season, 41 points, 14 rebounds, 3 steals. Milwaukee now 20-16. Orlando dropping to 20-18. 2 more games, and Paulie, you get to go watch the new Bob Dylan film.
Yeah, I'm psyched. Yeah.
I don't blame you. I can't wait to hear your reaction to that. The Denver Nuggets are leading the Brooklyn Nets right now 54-48, and the Chicago Bulls, who have an individual named Nikola Vucevic, I've been clamoring for since the offseason. 23 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists in a game that they're going to easily win. There's a few minutes left on the clock there. The Bulls will improve to 18-20. The Wizards dropping to 6-30 after this game. So that's your rundown. That's your breakdown. Paulie, tell everyone everything going on in your life, including your brand new YouTube show, Paulie Max Particles. I can't wait to come on, brother. And I hope we collaborate soon.
We will. We'll definitely have Cyrus on. We'll talk Golden State Warriors. But yeah, we just started this week. I'm on board with Creative Tony, another KMBR castaway. We had Brian Murphy on yesterday. Had a Murphy Mac reunion.
Nice.
So check it out on YouTube next week. We'll be back on the air Monday. It's Paulie Max Particles. And Cyrus, I love you. Thanks for having me tonight. Golden Days rocking on. And, dude, take your vitamins. And I'll talk to you next week, brother.
I love you, brother. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's Friday night. There is some good news there. Paulie, have fun. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone. Bye-bye.